Flat earthers like to say trust your senses, and I agree because common sense says that this photo is impossible on a flat earth. And why is that? Well, all I need to do is just draw on the rest of the missing sun, and look at this. The bottom of it would be below the bow of this boat. I mean, seriously, if I could look into this water, I'd be able to see fish swimming down in this area. So how would this be possible on a flat earth? If you believe in a flat earth, what you are claiming is that this water is perfectly flat and it goes on forever. But this guy is looking down. He's looking down in front of the boat, and that is where the bottom of the missing sun would be. The only way I would believe this is if I saw this sinking sun and tons of steam were boiling off the water as it sank into the ocean. It is quite obvious that this makes more sense. We live on a globe, the surface curves away, which forms a horizon, and that horizon is now able to hide the bottom of the sun. But let's take a look at what the flat earthers think. Well, here we have our typical flat earth science drawing of how perspective works, and I don't disagree with everything, but let's just take a look at this. Up here we have the actual height and path of the sun. Yeah, that's good. Not certain why he has a cloud up there, because I've never seen the sun in the clouds. Down below we have a boat going away, and then here we have objects appear to drop and shrink. Yeah, objects overhead have it look like they converge down to the horizon. Of course, we also have the flat earth exception to the rule because we do not see the sun getting smaller. And they quickly come up with, well, since we don't know what the sun is, then we can just say that this is why it doesn't get smaller. The other thing is that in both of these cases, the key word is appear. This boat does not get smaller as it goes farther away, it just appears to get smaller. The horizon actually does not rise up to eye level, it just appears to rise to eye level when you're at the seashore. And this is the real issue I have with this drawing. What is this over here? Blind spot beyond convergent zone. So why would this line extend upward? Why would this line extend downward? And why would that hide anything beyond the horizon? Well, basically because they have nothing else that would work. Here's another variation of the same theme. So here we have the horizon rising up, and what is this? I mean, look at this. This is from p-brane. So he says the horizon rises up, it just magically drops down, and then this is what hides the bottom of distant objects as they get smaller and smaller as they go off into the distance. You know what though? Doesn't this thing look familiar? Well, I'll be darned. Isn't this the globe model? I mean, it seems like p-brane is a little bit confused and doesn't understand the difference between each model. So the question flat earthers need to ask is, where is the water beyond the flat earth horizon? Let's pretend these rectangles represent a hallway, and as they get farther away, of course they get smaller and smaller and smaller, and they appear to get closer and closer and closer. And of course here we have our convergent lines. They're all converging towards the center, and this would be our vanishing point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend the lines across the surface of the sea, and I'll remove the rest of that graphic. And what do we have here? Well, these lines would be the exact same distance, but as they got closer to the horizon, they would appear to get closer and closer and closer, and finally they would merge into one line on the horizon. So the reality is that if the Earth was flat, the horizon would be a vanishing line, and the water beyond the flat Earth horizon would be merged into this horizon line. The water could not be any lower because that is the globe model. So the reality is this is nonsense. This would be the flat Earth model if you're going to use this drawing. The horizon appears to rise to eye level, and then beyond that, that water is merged into that horizon line. Of course, now flat earthers have a problem because, of course, there is nothing to hide the bottom of distant objects, and their whole little fantasy world falls apart. So again, this is impossible on a flat Earth. Again, actual observations support the globe model. This makes more sense. So please, if you believe in the flat Earth, research the globe. Don't take these flat Earth videos at face value. Use a little bit of common sense.